Hello everyone, welcome to Mark Bank, and in this DS session of percentage we are going to solve some problems for percentage, and we will also be observing as to how to solve questions in a limited period of time. Sometimes questions might seem to be very difficult, but their solution is very simple. That is what has to be observed and practiced. So let us say this problem. In this problem, say quantity number 1 is 5% of 243, and the second quantity is 243% of 5. Now I would like you to tell me as to which quantity is more. Either one is more than, so your options are like say 1 is more than 2, or 1 is less than 2, or say 1 is equal to. Number 1 is 5% of 243. What is our general understanding of a percent? What is our general understanding of a percent? Percent primarily is used for comparative analysis. It is used for comparison. It is used for comparison. So when I say that somebody has gotten 59% of marks, I am trying to say that had the full marks been 100, he would have gotten 59. I am not saying that the total paper was of 100 marks. I am trying to say had it been 100 marks, he would have gotten 59. That is what is the comparative analysis. In mathematics, how do we write percent? In mathematics, percent is written as nothing but 1 over 100. So if I need to write this value, I would write this to be 5%. Now you understand what is the meaning of 5%. 5% is what? 5 over 100. Of is written as multiplication, that is what you know, and that is nothing but 243. Okay, now let us try to see what is the second quantity. The second quantity is 243%. So this is 2, 4 and 3. This over 100 of is what? Multiplication and 5. If you can observe that these two are same. They are not different at all. These two are same. So what is your option? This has to be our answer. At the very beginning, it might seem that the second quantity is more than first quantity, but actually A% of B is B% of A. That is what is to be understood. So if I say that A% of B, that is very much equal to B% of A. B% of A. I hope that you are understanding the logic. Okay, let us move to the next problem. In this problem, it is said that the population of a town increases by 10% in the first year and further increases by 20% in the second year. So one needs to understand that this is nothing but successive increments. There is an increment of 10%, and then after this increment, the 20% of increment is going to happen over that total value. Say for example, if I assume that the population of a village is 100, population is 100, right? Now it is increasing by 10%, so this becomes what? 110 for sure. Now what do you need to do? 110 needs to increase by 20%. This will not increase by 20%, this will increase by 20%. So how do we do it? 110 plus 20% of 110. So can we write it to be in this way? 110, we can take common out of it. 1 plus 20%. 20% is nothing but what? 20 over 100. 110, this becomes 120 by 6, 120 over 100, 120 over 100, and further this can be written as 110 into 6 over 5, right? So this comes out as 22 into 6, and this is nothing but 132. So the population has become 132 after 2 years. So population is increasing by 10% in the first year, and then followed by 20% increment in the second year, and this total makes the population to be 132. So can you see that if the population has become 132 from 100, how do we find out percent change? Percent change is written as what? Percent change is written as change over original value into 100. That is how we write it. So the change is nothing but 132 negative 100. What is the original value over here? 100 into 100. So this total change comes out as 32%. It is not 30%. It is not 30%. This is nothing but 32%. Where this 2%, additional 2% is coming from? It is because change over change. If the population is increasing by 10% in the first year, 20% in the second year, so 20% of 10% should also be taken into consideration, because increment over increment will also happen. So the population is going to increase by 32% in these 2 years. Now I have always been telling that there is a formula called AB formula. If you understand what is AB formula, you can very easily solve this question. AB formula is used for two successive changes. This is nothing but A plus B plus AB upon 100. What you have to have in your mind is, whenever you are talking about increment has to be written as positive value, and whenever you are talking about decrement, this decrement has to be written as a negative value. So A will be written as 10% positive in the first year, B will be written as 20% positive in the second year, and A times B is going to be nothing but 10 times 20 over 100%. So this comes out as 30 and this comes out as 2. This total value becomes nothing but how much? 32%. So you understand how to use AB formula. In the first year it is increasing by 10%. Had it been decrement in these two successive years, what would have done? A would have been written as negative 10%, B would have been written as negative 20%. And if you could do it on your own, you would come to know that the answer is coming out as negative 28%. So be mindful of this as well, that if the population is increasing by 10% and then by 20%, or if the population is decreasing by 10% and further decreasing by 20%, in these two scenarios the answer would not be same. In our first case the answer is coming as 32%, and in our second case the answer is coming out as 28%. Alright, let us try to see one more problem. So another, you can apply AB formula in this case. What is the problem? That depreciation applicable to an equipment is 20%. The value of the equipment 3 years from now will be less by, say, so what they are saying is, this is 20% in the first year, followed by 20% in the second year, and then followed by 20% in the third year. Now AB formula would be applicable only for 2 years. Now here we are talking about 3 years. So what do we need to do? We must be applying AB formula for these two, for the first 2 years. Whatever result that we are going to get should be applied with the third year. So now let's try to see. Over here A comes out as, A is negative 20, right? What about B? B is another negative 20%. So if we are going to apply AB formula, what do we need to write over here? This is negative 20 plus, this is where you have to be very careful, because this is what, negative 20 times negative 20, this will come out as a positive value. So this is what we have got. This is negative 40% plus 4. So this will give you negative 36%. This problem is very similar to the problem where it is mentioned that population of a village decreases by 20% in the first year and 20% in the second year. So by what percent the population will decrease? It will decrease not by 40%, it will decrease by 36%. It's a very similar problem, right? Now since you know what is the result that you are getting out of it is, this is negative 36%. Apply this with this value. So this is what, negative 20 plus negative 36 times negative 20. This is going to give us this comes out as negative 56 plus this 21 ja 5 ja 5 1 ja, and this comes out as 7.2, right? What is the answer? This is negative 48.8%. So the value will get depreciated by 48.8%. If the value is getting depreciated by 48.8%, so what is the value that is going to be left? It is going to be left as 100% minus 48.8%. So this comes out as nothing but 51.2%. I hope you are getting my logic. This problem can be approached in some other way as well. So let us try to see what is this approach. I say that the value is 100 rupees. And in the first year, the value is depreciating by 20%. So what is that we are left with? We are left with 80%, right? 80% of value remains after depreciating the value by 20%. So 80% can be written as 4 over 5. So this value will become 4 over 5. Now can you appreciate that after this decrement, 20% of decrement would happen of this value only, right? So if the 20% decrement of this value would happen, 80% of this value is going to be same, would be there after depreciation of 20%, right? So now what do we need to do is, this will further be multiplied by 4 over 5. Why? Because the 20% of this value has gone. If the 20% has gone, it has become 80%. 80% of this value. 80% of this value is multiplying factor will be 4 over 5. Now in the third year, value is further going down by 20%. If it is going down by 20%, what is that we are going to have? We are going to have 4 over 5%. 4 over 5 of this. If we solve it, you will exactly be getting 51.2. I hope you are getting this logic. You started with 100 rupees, then further it was decreasing by 20%, so 80% of the value was left behind. Now 80% of this will left, so you have another multiplied this by another 4 over 5. Now further 20% goes of this value, so 80% of this value would remain same, so you are further multiplying it by 4 over 5 and you are getting it to be 51.2. I hope that it makes sense to you. So try to compare these two methods and see which one is preferable for you. Now this one is a very simple problem. You don't have to put your logic, you don't have to think a lot, you just have to pick your pen up and start solving the problem. So you're being asked two numbers. So two numbers means two variables. You need, in order to solve two variables, you need to have two equations. So if I say that my numbers are say a and b, so I have been given what is a plus b. A plus b is given to me as 2490. Now in the problem they are also mentioning that 6.5% of A is 8.5% of B. Since percent is used in both of the sides, you can cancel it because percent is nothing but 1 upon 100, right? So we can write it to be what? 6.5 A equals to 8.5 B. This is what? 13 A and this would become 17 B. You understand? This is 13 into 5 is what? 65. 17 into 5 is what? 8.5. So A comes out as 17 over 13 B. Now you have two equations and two variables, and they can be solved. What do you need to do? You just have to put this in this equation. This has to be put in this equation and your solution will be done. So A is written as what? 17 over 13 B plus B, that comes out as 2490. So is it 30 over 13 B equals to 2490. So B comes out as what? B comes out as 13 over 30 into this 0 will get cancelled from numerator and denominator, and see this is what? Now B comes out as once you know what is the value B, sum of these two values are given, you can find out what is going to be A. Is it simple? I hope that you have understood the logic. The takeaway from this session should be that percent will be written as 1 upon 100. Of will be written as multiplication. A percent of B will be equal to B percent of A. And if you have to solve two variables, you need to have two equations. Thank you for watching this video. If you have got any doubt, any query, please write us on faculty@mockbank.com. Thank you very much. Bye bye and take care.